Hey everyone, it's Alex. Welcome back to CollectioNeo and Statue Forum. Yes, I am back once again for another review for you guys, and this is my first HMO piece, and this is Zero from Megaman X. I'm a massive Megaman X fan, and I say Megaman X because I didn't really play Megaman on the NES, and I've obviously played them since and that, but they, you know, X was just so much cooler than Mega Man. You know, if you don't know, X is actually a different character than normal Mega Man. So, you know, I grew up with the, you know, when we didn't grow up with a NES, we grew up with Amigas, and you know, so, and I think eventually got a Master System, but really my gaming had really kicked off with the Mega Drive and then the Super Famicom. So, you know, I played all these Mega Man games on the Super Famicom, and Mega Man X is probably one of the greatest running gunners, platforms, whatever you want to say, ever made. So when HMO announced they were doing a Mega Man statue, I was really excited. I missed the boat. The pose is okay on him, but I kind of thought, oh well, that's that. I had the Mega Mans from First Figures, which I reviewed a while back, and their X is actually pretty good. It's not too bad. It's just a little bit generic and looks a bit outdated now, as the other Mega Mans do as well. But when HMO showed this, I was like, I've got to get that guy. And of course, HMO stuff is incredibly expensive to get over here, so I didn't bother. And then suddenly, out of the blue, someone offered me one. It's a really good price. Shipped. A ridiculous price, really, well under, just over retail, shipped to the UK. So I had to snap his hands off, really, and I'm kind of glad I did. Now, every review I can find of this statue, it seems like HMO just sent it to them. There's quite a few out there, and most guys don't really know the character, don't really play the games, but HMO seem to do this, where they just send stuff out. They kind of did it a lot at the beginning, and I can understand why, but I don't think they need to do that anymore. You know, I know they sent out, I don't know if they send out I know they didn't send out Morrigan's, because, you know, that thing sold like hot cakes. But anyway, this is a review. I've paid good hard money for this, so you're going to get something that's honest. So we're going to go over a few things, and then we're going to get close up on the statue, guys, so stick around. Now guys, it wouldn't be me without recommending a bit of reading material or an art book, and you can't get better than Mega Man X Official Complete Works from Udon. All of Udon's stuff is brilliant. They usually just take Japanese stuff and translate it into English. And this book, let's find a half decent artwork. I mean, you've got all the bosses in here, as you can see. All the official Capcom artwork, all super nice, high res. And there's our boy Zero. Goes over each X game. Yes, even Mega Man X7. Is 7 the bad one? The PS2 one? Or is it 8? I always get mixed up. But no, the PS2 one. Stay well away, guys. But yes, as usual, guys, brilliant books these. Plenty of sketches and artist renders, concepts, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, if you're also, I can't recommend that enough, they're about 20 quid. They might be more now. Udon stuff does go up in price. And if you're a Mega Man fan as well, you can get the Mega Man Official Complete Works, which is twice as thick as the X one, because obviously there's a hell of a lot more Mega Man games. So we get all this sort of stuff. So you get all the Rockman Japanese stuff, rough sketches, all that. They're brilliant. Can't recommend them enough. So let's get back to Zero. I'm sure most of you skip that part, but hey, what's in the box? So actually what we've got Zero in at the moment is his base configuration. Let's just there we go, guys. So now we've got him in his base configuration, which is both arms down, sword on his back, basic face. So let's give him a bit of a 360. First thing you're going to notice is this huge amount of hair, which we will get into. Can I just say straight off the bat, this statue is heavy, ridiculously heavy. It's too heavy. I'm not a fan of heavy statues. You know, we all like a bit of weight to the statues, you know, that's fine, but I just find this ridiculously heavy. This is like Prime 1 heavy, but it's like half the size, you know. When you put guts together, you know, that's heavy. When you put either 3 together, boy is that heavy. But this, the base is just stonkingly heavy for no particular reason. I mean, 0 is a slight little thing, but hey, there we go. So I don't feel comfortable putting this on a bester shelf. It's going to have to sit at the bottom, which is a real shame. But hey, there we go. I'd prefer having him on a bottom shelf than risk him falling off and exploding. So what do we get in the box, guys? We get a nice, glossy, printed instruction sheet. Tells you how to put them together. Just opens up. And we've got all the switch outs, all that, tells you how to plug in, because this has got a light up feature. And then just an image of 0 on the back. Now, we'll go over a few things before we start. The hair. So the hair, guys, actually, let's go over this first, because you do actually get a switch out head, which is a snarling one. So, but just a bit of history on the head. The snarling head was going to be just for the black version, because they did a black version, of course. It's a 0 always has a black version. Or the black version was going to have both. There's a few delays, so they decided to include both heads for the regular as well. This is technically the regular, but obviously in this case the regular is better, in my opinion. They also did a 2-pack as well. I think that was limited to 75 for both of them, which, you know, is super expensive now. This head is obviously can be switched out. Now here's the problem: the hair, it's a huge piece. It's not super heavy because it's obviously molded hollow, but it's a big piece. So to compensate for that, it actually screws into the back of the head. As you can see there, we've just got a nut on the back. Honestly, guys, it's one of the most traumatizing statue experiences I've had. I didn't like it whatsoever. Thinking of other ways that they could have done it, I don't know. Everyone will probably say magnets, but I think it's really precarious instead of, especially with the connection point so small. I don't think a magnet, even one of the earth magnets would have been strong enough to hold all that. So I can understand why they've gone for the screw. But boy, I actually ended up screwing it in this head, then that head, then this head, then that head, just to, get the paint off the head and ease them up a bit. The fact is that because of that, I prefer this more stoic head anyway, rather than this angry grin. But it doesn't really make it an easy swap out, guys, and I wouldn't risk it whatsoever to switch that out, which is kind of a bummer, because the point of a switch out is you can switch out. But there's other things you can do to the statue to change how it looks. So we'll go over those first. No, let's not do one. I'm on to switch outs, guys. We're not even there yet. Let's start at the base. We'll work his way up. So the base, guys, is kind of like just a generic Megaman looking thing. I don't think it's referencing anything in particular. If it is, please let me know. Megaman had the same sort of base with the plastic cover on it. On Megaman, that cover was removable, and then you could put the statue in without the cover on. I like the cover on it. I think it needs that. I think some of the work here is a little bit sloppy on the edges. I don't know if we'll be able to get in there. It just looks a little bit I think this would have been, it's kind of like a frosted resin, or it might even be a plastic actually. Yeah, it's a plastic, and I think that would have been better if it was a completely clear, or just a little bit less frosted. It looks good, it looks fine on display, especially when the lights are on, which we'll get to later. But yeah, overall base is fine. They're going for a museum. Well, Megaman wasn't in a museum pose, was he? But the bases look sufficiently Megaman-ish, and they do. It perfectly matches X's base. So we move up to the legs, guys, and don't know if you can see, but straight away we've got all these bits of battle damage. I'm okay with them. It seems like they're completely random, because the ones on the actual here are different than what I've got on mine. Mine seems to have a lot more damage. I think I would have preferred it more pristine, especially out here. There's some big chunks of paint taken out. It looks a little bit scruffy. Paints otherwise are just gorgeous. They are just absolutely gorgeous. The reds, the yellows, the greens, you know, the cherry colours that they chose, and the, you know, the metallics are really, really nice. I don't even know if I dare to try and take the legs off. So Megaman X had a gimmick where you could basically take the leg pieces off and the arms pieces off, and you could see the inner workings of the robot. You can do the same on this, but the hair is leaning against the leg. I don't know if I darest. Shall I darest? If I do it, it'll be off camera, and I'll cut now, and then I'll come back. Wow, that was horrible. So as you can see, you got all this under detail of the leg. I can't imagine anyone would display it like this. They on the DX Chogokin Mazinger, they did this, and they kind of included parts so you could do a half and half, which is actually pretty cool. Like if I could take the outer half off and leave the inner half on, I think that'd work a lot better. But unfortunately, these pieces are meant to class together. You can see they've got these huge magnets, and they are super duper powerful, guys. You can track your fingers. I'll attest to that. I've done it a few times. But yeah, it's a nice touch. I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. And I think it's a cool thing that you can show off on a video like this. But when it comes to display, I don't think you'd ever do it. And relax. It is a harrowing thing to take that off. It's fine when the hair isn't there, guys. Yeah, some of it's kind of eep. Like I say, the battle damage is a bit strange. I don't mind it. I would have preferred a cleaner look. Just moving up now to the chesticles. I say chesticles, I of course mean torso. Paints here are okay. A little bit sloppy around the crotch. Let's see if we can get that in a bit more for you guys. There we go. Not too bad. I've seen sloppy. I've probably let off sloppy, but I think with this being such a simple paint job and these lines being so crisp that they need to be crisp, and I do think that they're a little bit let down there. But you know, it's a 9 out of 10, which I think it could have been a 10 out of 10. Got the arms again, bit of weathering on the arms. The hair's beautifully done, I have to say. It's a lot darker on camera than it is in hand. It's a lot lighter, but it's fantastically well done. Just that screw in the head, man, makes you stay up at night. Let's move up to the chest. So the chest piece does actually come off. Now these green nipples were actually supposed to be embedded in here, and then when you take the piece off, it's supposed to have come off around those. That would have looked brilliant. That would have been great. I don't know why they didn't do it. You can actually see the recesses in there for where the magnets were supposed to have gone. Very, very strange decision why they didn't do that. Again, I don't see the point of taking the armour piece off, to be honest. I think it looks better with it on. Good strong magnets all round. And then of course we've got this stoic face. And I've got to say, the face sculpt is outstanding. It's so spot on for me. It's something that Fierce Figures failed at, in my opinion, on their Megamans. Much better on X. Their new Mega Man 11 is astonishing. Perfect. I have that on order, the definitive edition. But I think on those first ones they're a bit hit and miss. Actually, item number 2 Mega Man wasn't too bad either. No. Normal Mega Man, even though they revised that face as well. But hey, we're not here to talk about Fierce Figures. Although, you know, FRF is love, FRF is life. But yeah, great face sculpt overall. And yeah, everything looks great. The packaging, I must say as well, for HMO was astonishing. You know, XM level, big, hard, thick plastic box, incredibly heavy. It's a heavy statue, even heavier in the box. Everything wrapped perfectly and, you know, layered with the straps, just how you want. Any collectible of this guy was $700 on pre-order. So, but he goes for about $1,500 already. I'm sure you'll only get higher. The edition sizes aren't massive. I think there's only 200 of these or 250. There's not a lot, guys. And then the 75 double pack, and I think there's 200 of the black as well. There's a lot more than 500 Megaman fans in the world who'd buy this sort of thing. But yeah, HMO smashed the portrait. Just smashed it overall. And we haven't even got to the best bits yet. First off, let's take this out. So that's just the sword hilt, because we have actually got a swappable sword hand. So I'm going to move him back a little bit. We'll go over the swap out part. We'll attach the swap out part, and we'll light this sucker up. And we're back, and as you can see straight away, I've swapped out his left arm for the Buster Cannon, which looks great. This is probably the optimal pose. This is the pose that probably most people go for. I've got to say, I do like the neutral pose, and I do like the neutral pose of either the Z-Saber or the cannon end, and then a hand in either. But I think most people go for the double-barreled, all-in-one. Let's go for everything. And the Buster Cannon looks great. And I love that they've actually done the portrait so he's looking in the right direction. And then the Z-Saber. Now, whenever I've shown people this statue, most comments have come about the Z-Saber. A, why doesn't that light up? Which it doesn't, sadly. I don't know why they didn't do it as a light up. I don't know why they couldn't have moulded it into the hand, just an LED at the bottom, and then just something like that. Or, you know, and then just the hand plugged in. It would have been easy to do. And I think, especially considering the rest of the statue is wired for, you know, electrics. You know, there's electrics running through the entire body up to the head and the arm. So why they couldn't, this arm doesn't actually detach, his right arm. His right arm's permanently attached. You can either just swap the fist or have the Z-Saber, whereas the other arm actually detaches, so this arm could have just been wired. I don't know why they didn't do that. It looks good. I would have preferred a more, I think it's a bit more crackly lightsaber, where I think it should be a bit more smooth and anime, maybe a bit more swooshy, but it looks good. Like I say, I think this is the pose that most people go for. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to plug him in. Oh, I should say that it runs off USB. Brilliant. I love a USB powered, because it means I can have him lit up permanently, and I will have him lit up permanently. When all my overlights turn on, you can just literally plug it into any USB plug and light him up. He also takes batteries, which is for those who like batteries. I personally don't want to put batteries in a statue this heavy and this massive and this delicate, and then when those batteries run out, I've got to take the statue apart to turn that base over. Because, yeah, so I wouldn't recommend putting the batteries in. Lights up by USB, like Fist Figures. Fist Figures do the rechargeable battery, which is brilliant. One of the best inventions ever to hit light up statues. And I hope companies like HMO and others eventually follow suit. But hey, we've got USB power, so let's plug him in, we'll turn off the lights, and we'll see him lit up. So we start with the base. As you can see, it's got this fantastic pulsing light. So red LEDs around the edge, or red resin with, it might just be plain LEDs underneath, and then a white LED in the middle, and we get this pulsing effect, which I must admit the statue has to be in complete pitch black for you to see that, but it does look rather fantastic, quite calming actually, really nice effect. I think Megaman X has the same feature, but obviously unfortunately Megaman X didn't have USB on it, it was battery only. Let's move up to the top light. So this is basically why you're having that switch out arm on for those for that cannon light. You've got the end lit up in red, the top lit up in green. No lights on the sides. And this is where the chest pieces, if the chest pieces were bedded into the chest, they could have been lit as well. Along with the saber, it could have been a light up tour de force. The gem on the head looks good. There's a little bit of bleed on it, but it's not too bad. The side pieces look great, and overall, he just looks fantastic. There's, you know, he does look really look good. So, guys, HMO Zero. Do I think he's going to be worth the aftermarket price of $1,200 to $1,500? No. Do I think he's worth his retail price of $700 or around that? Yes. Few provisos. I think the statue is far too heavy. I'm sure people will disagree with me on that, but it just is. Two, the Z-Saber should have really lit up and maybe offered different blades, just for different looks. They're the only negatives really I've got about it. The battle damage is a bit iffy here and there, but I suppose that depends on what you get. The positives are he looks cool as fuck. He really does. The hair's really well done, apart from that weird connection, which, you know, took 10 years off my life. The light up looks great. The switch outs are really, really nice. The switch outs give a really different flavour, which I love about a switch out. If it can change the whole look and feel of a statue, switch out's doing its job. And yeah, the paint overall, sculpt's great. I'm really, really happy. I just need either to pick up the HMO Megaman X, or maybe First Figures will do another one. Now that they're putting out the 1/4 scale Megaman 11, I can hope for an X. Of course, First Figures cancelled their Zero, and they have reiterated it quite a few times, like the design and what they're doing. If they push that out in 1/4 and it looked really good, who knows, I might get both, do a comparison. Or this one might go and I might keep the FRF one, who knows. But there you go, guys, that's HMO, my first HMO piece. Very, very happy actually. Overall, I think I would have been a little annoyed and a little gutted if I'd paid double retail, but I think you find that on most pieces. But yeah, overall, it's a badass, good looking statue. And if you can find it for $1,000 or under, I'd say it's worth it. Going up to $1,500. No, wait for something else. If, like I say, First Figures might answer your call. But I'm really happy. I'm happy with him. I was going to say I'm not really happy with him, but I'm really happy with him, yeah. Very, very nice. So there you go, guys. HMO 0 1/4 scale. Thumbs up. Stick around, guys, for more reviews. Let me know if you've actually bought this statue in the comments, because like I say, most of the reviews I've found, I know HMO have sent them. There's a few channels, and we all know who they are, who get, you know, free statues to review. They don't really mention that they're free statues, but they are, you know. So like I say, I paid cold hard cash for this guy, and if you've paid cold hard cash for him, let me know what you think, and we'll see you next video. Bye.